Hi, folks. Joseph Kursky here with you to talk about what we will do in week 3 of our global geography course at Auburn University. This week, I'm so excited. We are going to have the opportunity to dig into maps as communication analytical tools, not just reference documents. Where is something, but rather why is something where it is, and how can we plan for a more resilient, sustainable, equitable future? Analysis, spatial analysis, determining the whys of where. As in other weeks, we're going to do several things this week. We're watching the video, which you're doing right now. You're going to read the weekly readings. You're going to respond to the weekly readings in the discussion. You're going to read the weekly place, thought leader, tool, event, and geographic oddity, one of my favorite parts of the course, and hopefully by now it's yours too. But you can like other things in the course. Complete the activity using some fascinating geographic tools and data, and then the weekly, easy to take, gentle, bite-sized, gluten-free quiz. The readings will involve the following. What is spatial thinking? What's spatial thinking? How is it related to geographic thinking? Then the whys of where. One of the things I'm going to have you look at is when you see something on the landscape, ask yourself, why is it there and what happened to put it there? So, for example, you're going to look at an image. You know, I visit a lot of college campuses, right? 35 schools, K-12 schools, and probably about 35 university and technical colleges every year. And I arrived at a certain campus and there was a stadium looking over a parking lot. So immediately I thought, what's wrong with this picture? Why is there a stadium looking over a parking lot? Obviously, that parking lot had recently been paved. Maybe they moved the grassy field to another place and they were just about ready to tear down the grandstands. So there was a stadium, the grandstands were looking over a parking lot. So think about why are things where they are and what happened in the past to make them so. Then we're going to talk about latitude longitude formats. It's important to know where things are on the planet, and latitude longitude is our planetary addressing system. Think of it that way. But there are many different formats of latitude and longitude, and we're going to talk about those this week in week 3. We're also going to talk about another key concept, absolute location versus relative location. Think about this. Turn left at the traffic light, go down the hill, and next to the school is my house or my apartment. That's a relative location and a relative direction. Rather than another way of putting it, go south on this road, turn to the northeast, and follow another road, go 500 meters down a hill, and there's my apartment. That's more of an absolute location. We're going to talk about that. And also, maps are tools for analysis and communication. That would be our last set of readings. Spatial analysis is key to geography. That's why we're going to spend so much time on it this week. It's just a mini exposure to spatial analysis, but I hope a very valuable one for your future. Defining spatial analysis and how is it different from spatial thinking that we talked about a moment ago. And then why do we communicate the results of our research using geographic tools like maps, dashboards, story maps, etc. We don't want to just do a bunch of work and learn a bunch of things and then not do anything about the discrimination in our community or the green belt in our community or the community gardens or the pedestrian-friendly sidewalks or the economic vitality of the community or something else, right? Or the hazards resilience. We want to do something about the water quality, the trash, etc., right? So communication is vital to that whole taking action part of geography. We're going to talk about a place this week, the Cinque Terre Trail in Italia. That's going to be great. A thought leader, Gladys West, cartographer, mid-20th century. Now think about this as you read what Gladys did with not just mapping, but GPS, a founding person in the GPS field. Think of the way we take it for granted, GPS in our society now. And think about Dr. West working in Virginia, Northern Virginia on the GPS, mid-20th century. Okay, African American, female. Think about some of the challenges she faced where not very many people had the demographics and the ethnicity that she did when she was working on GPS. So think of the challenges she had on a personal and professional level. Pioneer in GPS. We're going to talk about Gladys West. The tool we're going to talk about makes sense. We're going to talk about this GPS, Global Positioning Systems, or Global Navigation Satellite Systems more broadly. The event we're going to talk about is Earth as having rights. Does the Earth have rights like people do? Interesting concept. Let's dig into that a bit. And then the geographic oddity, borders, state and national borders along latitude, longitude lines. Does it happen? What are the advantages and disadvantages of choosing that over a river or a mountain range? And then the activities are analyzing change over space and time using Google Maps and Street View. We're going to browse some fascinating map collections because that fits into our theme of mapping this week. I want to expose you to some really rich, out-of-the-box map collections. And then I want to expand your thinking about maps in another way, art and 3D mapping. Ooh. Then how do I collect data in the field? How do I map it? And then how do I analyze it geographically? So we're going to use my pedestrian-friendly or unfriendly field survey. You can actually participate in my field survey. We're going to take a quiz. Again, it's going to be an easy quiz. You can finish it in 5 or 10 minutes. And I've got a geo song for you. You didn't think I'd forget this, did you? Whenever I want maps, all I have to do is GIS. GIS, GIS. Ooh, that was so bad. Thanks for being with me on week 3, and I'll see you in the course.